The Galactic Empire believed there was no mystery left in the galaxy because they spent thousands of years mapping stars like lines on a paper map, naming every nebula, recording every comet, studying every asteroid like they were insects. Their database contained more ship designs than some species had trees on their homeworld, 700,000 registered ships with full designs including engine type, metal composition, fuel signatures, shield frequencies, weapon patterns, heat radiation charts, and even the sound vibration of large engines. For 10,000 years, nothing new surprised the Empire. Every new ship was only a small change of the old design. Every war was familiar, every enemy predictable. They believed nothing could shake them anymore. They believed they were too old and too large to fear the unknown. But fear came in silence, on a quiet night when the main sensor network floating in the Empire's border detected something completely outside all records. No one noticed at first because the signal was strange, deep, almost like a ghost whispering in metal. The signal moved slowly through space like a single heartbeat in vacuum. The machine brain that controlled the border sensors tried to match it with known patterns and failed. Then it tried to match it with old patterns and failed again. Finally, the system flashed one short message across the screen. Unknown object detected. The message was small, but the meaning was huge like a black hole. Unknown did not exist in the Empire. It was like seeing a shadow in a room full of lights. In the main control chamber of the Empire's strategic headquarters, screens turned red. A loud alarm filled the huge hall where hundreds of officers worked in rows of glowing terminals. The alarm had not been used in 3,000 years. It was a warning used only for cosmic events, extinction threats, or something never seen before. The officers stared at the screen where a huge dark shape moved across the map grid of stars. The system tried to read its identity. The screen shook like it was afraid. The officers leaned closer with pale faces. The shape had no ID code, no registration, no known engine pattern, no signal. It was like a piece of the night sky had turned into a ship. One officer shouted, his voice breaking, "We can't identify that ship. Who built this? How is this possible?" His words cut the air like a knife. More officers rushed to his terminal, hands shaking, typing commands, searching old history files, trying every database. Nothing. The record history showed no match in 10,000 years. There was no design like this, no metal like this, no engine like this. The ship was completely outside everything known. For the first time in thousands of years, the Empire faced something that did not respect their knowledge. The shape appeared on the main map as a black circle, like a star without light. The ship floated silently in Empire space, without moving toward any planet or station. It did not broadcast messages. It did not change direction. It only stayed there, cold and still, watching like a giant eye made from steel. The Empire did not understand what they were seeing. Was it a warship? A relic? A dead machine drifting? Or something alive? Officers whispered in fear. The ship was gigantic, larger than any dreadnought in the Empire. It was almost the size of a small moon, but sharp, like it was built from blades. Its hull looked like smooth black stone instead of metal. It absorbed all light around it, leaving no reflection. It was like a hole in space. General Avares, commander of Empire Defense, walked into the control chamber, his long cape moving behind him. His face was firm but his eyes showed something rare, confusion. He looked at the screen and asked, "Is this a trick? A cloaking device? Some enemy we know?" Officers shook their heads. "No, General, nothing matches. It's not Council technology, not pirate, not ancient empire, not rebel. It's nothing." Avares felt cold. He served 200 years and thought he knew all threats. Now something stood in front of him that was beyond imagination. He ordered, "All war fleets move to intercept. I want full power. Prepare every cannon. No mistakes." His voice was strong to hide the fear growing in his heart. Across the star systems, dozens of Empire fleets received the order. Ships detached from orbital docks, giant engines roared to life, blue plasma trails cut across darkness. In minutes, thousands of warships moved like waves converging toward one point in space, toward the unknown ship. In the sensor view, the unknown ship did not react. It stayed silent, floating like stone, like it did not care about the entire Empire coming to stop it. The closer Empire ships came, the more they saw details that made their fear grow deeper. The hull of the unknown ship was covered with symbols, scratches like writing from a forgotten language. Some officers zoomed cameras to read them, but the symbols made no sense. They were old and elegant, curved lines like written by someone who loved beauty, not war. But the ship was clearly made for war. It had no windows, no antennas, no ports. Only armor and shape. When the Empire fleets reached firing range, General Avares was ready to speak the attack order. But before he could open his mouth, the unknown ship moved. Not fast, not slow, but with perfect precision. It turned its huge body, rotating like a planet turning around its axis. The movement was silent but heavy, like the universe itself was being pushed aside. The ship pointed its long nose directly toward the Empire flagship, the biggest command ship in the fleet. At that moment, every warning system screamed, "Target locked." The words flashed across every screen in the control chamber. Officers froze like statues. Their hearts stopped for a second. No one expected this. No one moved. It felt like time broke. The unknown ship had chosen the flagship, the brain of the Empire fleet. It did not fire yet. It only locked. But target lock from an unknown weapon was worse than a shot. It was like a death sentence waiting for a decision. No one understood the threat. The Empire had never seen this type of technology. Avares whispered to himself with dry lips, "Is it war? Is it death? Or something older than the Empire?" His voice sounded lost. Officers looked at each other. Their fingers hovered over controls, but they did not know what action to take. If they fired first, maybe they would be destroyed instantly. If they waited, maybe the ship would fire anyway. Fear made every second feel like an hour. Outside, in deep space, the unknown ship glowed with faint energy around its hull, like light trying to escape from darkness. The energy signature was impossible. It did not match any known reactor. The Empire sensors showed numbers that made scientists panic. The power was too high. If this ship fired even once, the flagship would be gone before light reached the camera. Empire weapons were strong, but this was something beyond every calculation. Avares closed his eyes for one moment, remembering old stories told by soldiers in the academy when he was young. Stories about ancient wars before the Empire, wars with species that vanished long ago. Legends about ships called ghost warships that appeared from nowhere and destroyed entire fleets. He never believed those stories. Now he felt like one of those stories was real, breathing in front of him. He opened his eyes and shouted, "Do not fire! Do not provoke it!" His voice shook with something new for a commander, humility. The Empire fleet held position. Thousands of cannons aimed but did not shoot. The unknown ship kept lock. It did nothing else. It waited. Scientists worked fast, reading energy signals, scanning hull structure. One scientist screamed from the back, "The ship is old. It's older than the Empire. The metal is aged like thousands of years. But the technology is new." That made no sense. How can something be ancient and advanced at the same time? Another scientist whispered, "What if the design is ancient but updated by someone now?" The room felt colder. Who? Who could update a ship older than Empire history? Avares looked at the main screen where the black ship filled every pixel like a nightmare. He spoke quietly, "Try communication." Officers sent signals, coded messages in every known language and frequency. No reply. They tried again. Nothing. The unknown ship remained silent like a dead star. But it wasn't dead. It chose target. It locked target. It waited like a predator studying its prey's fear. Minutes passed slow like ice melting. The Empire Council was informed. High leaders arrived in the chamber with grand robes and faces full of confusion. They asked questions without answers. Is it from another galaxy? What species built it? How did it pass border sensors? Where are its engines? But the truth was frightening. No one knew anything. Suddenly, The unknown ship sent a signal. Every screen glowed white for 1 second. Officers covered their eyes. When the light went away, one single line appeared in the Empire's ancient language, words almost forgotten. "Return what you took." The hall became silent like a tomb. Officers stared. Avaris whispered, "What did we take?" No one answered. The message made no sense. Did the Empire steal something from this ship? From its builders? From its species? Or was this about something buried in history? The Empire Council shouted orders: "Search history. Search ancient wars." Officers opened files older than any living person. They found stories about a war from 1,000 years before the Empire existed. A war between early species. One species vanished. The records were broken. The name missing. Deleted. More officers searched. One file mentioned a small planet, blue and green, far from Empire Center. A planet called Earth. The file said Earth was primitive when discovered. No threat. No technology. But another file, hidden, showed a different truth. Ancient humans once reached stars, fought in a war, lost almost everything, and disappeared from history. Avaris stared at the word Earth. Something sharp moved inside his mind. He whispered, "That ship is human." Officers shook their heads. Impossible. Humans have stone tools. They have no starships. But files did not lie. Someone erased human history. Someone erased records. Why? Who? Before anyone could react, the unknown ship changed energy signature. The power increased again. Lights on the hull glowed like burning veins. The camera zoomed on its nose, where black metal opened slowly like a flower made of iron. A cannon emerged. It was not a normal cannon. It bent space around its mouth like air bending around heat. Officers screamed, "It's charging!" Avaris shouted, "Shields!" Thousands of ships activated shields at once. Blue bubbles of energy formed around them. The flagship shield glowed bright. But every officer knew, shield might mean nothing against unknown. The unknown ship fired. There was no explosion. No sound. No light wave. Only a thin red line crossed space like a sharp whisper. It touched the Empire's strongest cruiser behind the flagship. The cruiser disappeared. Not exploded. Disappeared. Like someone deleted it from reality. No debris. No fire. Nothing. 1 second it existed. The next second it was gone like dream broken by waking. Officers cried out. Some fell to knees. The Empire had never seen a weapon like this. Avaris felt his heart break. One shot removed a ship with 60,000 lives. No trace left. The unknown ship sent a second message: "Do not repeat their mistake." Everyone felt sick. What mistake? Whose mistake? Avaris shouted, "Speak to us. What do you want?" No reply. The unknown ship closed its cannon and remained silent again. Target still locked on the flagship. The Empire saw their strength turn to dust. They understood something horrible. They were not the first Empire. Something older existed. Something stronger. Something that remembered. Avaris stood, his voice broken and soft. "This is not war. This is judgment." Officers stared at him. He continued, "This ship is older than us. It carries history we erased. We are facing something older than Empire." Outside, stars glowed like quiet witnesses. Inside the black ship, something waited. Something watching. Something remembering a war from long ago, a war that erased its creators, a war that hid truth in darkness. The Empire faced a question too big for their pride. The control chamber of the Galactic Empire felt like a frozen world trapped inside metal walls. No officer moved, no voice rose. No mind found words strong enough to hold the fear that spread through the air like smoke after fire. The unknown ship did not move again after the single red shot erased the Empire cruiser like a memory ripped from existence. It just stayed there in the dark, pointing its long black nose at the Empire flagship. The glowing words "target locked" still burning on every screen like a slow heartbeat counting down to something invisible. General Avaris stood still, his hands tight behind his back, nails digging into his gloves. His eyes were full of something he had never felt in his long military life: smallness. The Empire was always the giant. Now it felt like a child staring at a monster in the dark. Avaris spoke slowly, breath shaking. "We are facing something older than us, something beyond our rules." His words were not heard like command. They were heard like truth. Around him, officers typed on screens with shaking fingers, searching deeper and deeper into restricted archives, trying to understand what they saw. One young officer whispered with broken voice, "General, the erasure weapon. It did not explode the ship. It removed it from space, like deleting a line from history." Another scientist gasped, "The energy signature is wrong. It bends reality. It pulls matter out of dimension. I don't understand. Nothing in our science explains this." Avaris felt the cold in his bones. If the Empire's entire science could not explain one weapon, then the Empire was not the center of knowledge anymore. Something else was. Something hidden. Something silent. Something that returned after 10,000 years of sleep. He pointed at the main historian, "Search everything. I want every document about ancient wars before the Empire. Every rumor. Every erased record. Everything the Council tried to hide." The historian nodded, his face pale like snow. "Yes, General." He opened sealed archives the Empire leadership never allowed anyone to read. Files covered in digital dust. Files encrypted with codes older than machines. He read lines from forgotten stories. A war before history. A species that rose fast. A world that fought alone. A defeat that erased them. Everyone waited, breath held tight like the air was heavy stone. The historian whispered a name, voice thin like paper: "Humans." The room felt like gravity doubled. Officers looked at the screen showing a blue-green planet spinning under starlight like a jewel in darkness. Earth. The small world with no fleet, no power, no threat. The world everyone in the Empire called primitive, soft, harmless. The world no one respected. Avaris stared at the name like it was poison. Humans? That is impossible. He shook his head. Humans live in stone cities. They have no space travel. They have no science for war. They are the weakest species in our records. The historian scrolled deeper. The text showed another truth. Humans once reached the stars before the Empire existed. They built ships that vanished into the void. They fought an empire older than this one. They lost everything. Survivors hid. Historians erased the truth so no one would fear them again. Avaris whispered, "Someone hid their history." His voice cracked. Someone removed humans from fear. Why? Who erased them? Why did the Empire keep humans small and silent? And why did the unknown ship carry ancient human language? Before he could think more, the unknown ship did something again. Every sensor shook with sudden force. The ship sent another signal across space. But it was not a message through radio waves. It was a pulse like a heartbeat. A wave of energy spread from the ship's hull like ripples in water, passing through Empire ships without causing any damage, but leaving behind a strange effect. Every screen in the Empire fleet showed a new line of text. "You took light from our sky." Officers stared at those words. Their brains tried to understand meaning. Avaris shouted, "What light? What sky? We took nothing." But he was not sure now. What if someone before him took something from humans? What if the ancient empire destroyed something important? Something humans loved? Something humans protected? The unknown ship stayed silent after the message. The Empire flagship remained frozen. Avaris ordered communication again. "Unknown vessel, identify yourself. We request peaceful contact. We do not wish for war." No reply. Communication officer whispered, "It hears us, but it chooses silence." Silence hurt more than threats. Silence meant control. Silence meant the unknown ship believed it did not need words to prove danger. Empire ships surrounded it in a huge sphere formation. 10,000 cannons aimed at one silent shape. But every captain knew firing meant suicide. If one shot erased a cruiser, 10,000 mean nothing. In the Empire capital, The emperor watched the scene from a giant round screen in his throne room. Gold banners, crystal walls, armies in armor like statues. But the emperor looked small too now. His voice trembled when he asked his council, "Can we win if it attacks?" His generals did not answer. One old war chief said softly, "Victory is not possible." Another whispered, "We face technology beyond time." Fear traveled through the capital like cold storm wind. Citizens watched broadcasts in markets, streets, homes, feeling something they never felt. The empire cannot protect them. Children cried. Parents held their hands. Priests prayed for stars to save them. Avaris stood still, trying to calculate what to do. His voice tried to hold logic. Maybe the ship is damaged. Maybe it is only reacting to threat. We must show we are not enemies. He ordered all weapons to power down. On every ship, the humming cannons slowly cooled, blue energy fading. Shields lowered. Lights dimmed. The entire Empire fleet opened its arms to peace, even if it felt like laying weapons before a monster. The unknown ship reacted. Its energy pulse slowed. Target lock remained, but hull glow softened. The ship seemed less hostile. It watched the Empire fleet like animal watching a hand move away from danger. A scientist shouted with sudden excitement, "General!" Translation node reading deeper into message. The ancient language, some words decode if combined with old Earth dialects. Avaris moved close. Translate. The scientist typed fast. Letters arranged into a full sentence. The screen displayed, "We return not to kill, but to remind." Everyone stared. Someone whispered, "Remind what?" Another scientist said, "History. They want to remind us of something we forgot. Something erased." Avaris' voice was low, "What did we erase?" No one answered. Fear became mystery. Mystery became guilt. He pointed at the dark ship. "If this is human, where are humans? Why is the ship not crewed? Why no voice? Why no leader?" The historian whispered, "Maybe humans are on Earth. Maybe they never died. Maybe they learned to hide. Or maybe this ship is automated." Automated? A warship from ancient time flying alone in darkness for thousands of years? Waiting? Watching? Searching? The unknown ship glowed again. This time the message was longer. Screens flickered. Every word cut deep. "Once we were many. Now we are memory. We hid to save tomorrow." Someone cried in the chamber. It sounded like grief. Humans talking through machine? Humans lost in war? Humans turned into ghost stories? Avaris ordered, "Trace message origin." Sensors scanned the ship. Deep inside its hull, a cold core pulsed like heart made of lights. It was not alive. It was not dead. It was something between, a machine holding memory of a species. A machine carrying voices of the past. The scientist spoke quietly, "General, the ship is a tomb. A tomb carrying messages from the dead." Silence choked the hall. Avaris closed his eyes. Warships around him felt like insects compared to a ghost made of pain. He whispered, "They did not come to attack. They came to tell us what we forgot." The Emperor's voice came through comm channel, "Then we must listen." Avaris took a deep breath. He knew what he needed to do, even if it frightened him. "Open channel to Earth," he ordered. Officers looked confused. "Earth? But humans are primitive." Avaris cut him sharply. "Primitive technology does not erase cruisers. Something hidden is on Earth. The answers are there." He sent the message, "Earth, do you hear us?" The Empire expected nothing. Earth was small, silent, alone. No spaceports, no war machines, no empire. Just forests, oceans, cities, life like fragile art. But then, every screen flickered. Static. White noise. Then image. A dark room. A woman sitting alone in shadows. Her eyes cold like winter stars. Her face calm like someone who held too much truth inside. She spoke slowly, her voice quiet. "You were not supposed to know us this way." Avaris almost stopped breathing. "Who are you?" She answered, I am human. Officers gasped. Avaris whispered, impossible. She shook her head, you erased us. You erased our history. You erased our war. You erased our pain. But you did not erase our memory. Her face did not show anger. It showed sadness so deep it broke the heart of everyone watching. She continued, that ship was ours. It fought for us. It died for us. It carried messages for our children. We left it drifting, hoping no one would repeat the mistake. Avaris felt guilt burn his chest. What mistake? Her voice was like slow winds over graves. You attacked us in ancient time. Not you, but those who came before you. They took our sun. They destroyed our sky. They erased our cities. We survived as shadows. We hid underground. We waited for stars to heal. Avaris shouted, we did not know. We did not choose that war. She looked at him with eyes older than any empire. That is why the ship does not fire again. We do not punish children for their ancestors' sin. Everyone cried inside. Commander, officers, scientists, the emperor himself. A war from the ancient past returned not with hate, but with broken message, do not repeat history. Avaris whispered, why appear now? She answered, because your fleets grew too hungry. Your maps grew too wide. Your borders reached our home again. We feared the cycle. We sent the ship to warn you. Avaris lowered his head. The emperor spoke gently, we want peace. Teach us. The woman nodded, we will teach history. You will protect the future. In that moment, the empire changed. Not through force, through truth. The unknown ship slowly lifted its target lock. Screens flashed. Target release officers felt their bodies relax like chains falling off. The ship sent one final message, we forgive. Do not forget. Then, slowly, like giant bird returning to nest, the ship turned, pointed toward distant stars, engines glowing softly, and vanished into warp. No trace. No sound. Only silence. Avaris stood still for a long time. His voice broke, we feared a weapon. We found a warning from ghosts. The Empire looked at Earth with new eyes. Not as primitive. Not as weak. But as survivors carrying wounds older than time. And millions across the galaxy repeated the same line with new meaning. Who built that ship, and what did humans survive to create it? Because now history had a new question burning like fire. If one human ship returned, how many still sleep in the dark? And in the deepest part of space, where light dies slow, something ancient moved. Watching. Waiting darkness did not end when the unknown ship disappeared into the void. It stayed like a shadow in every mind of the Empire. The fear was gone from weapons, but now everyone feared something deeper, truth. The Empire thought it controlled history, thought it was the center of knowledge, the top of civilization. But one silent message from an ancient human ship crashed that belief like glass under stone. After the broadcast from the woman on Earth, whole worlds felt like they were waking from a dream they never knew they were sleeping in. The command chamber was not loud now. It became quiet like a church after prayers. General Avaris stood still, staring at the screen where the Earth woman's face had faded into black. She did not scream, she did not threaten, she did not ask revenge. She did not speak like an enemy. She spoke like a survivor who carried the memory of a war older than every empire building. Her voice was soft, but it felt heavier than any cannon blast. Avaris touched the screen with his fingers, as if he wanted to confirm that the image happened. She looked at us like she remembered our ancestors, he whispered. Officers around him had tears on their faces, some wiping their cheeks quickly like they were ashamed to cry in uniform. But there was no shame in their hearts now. Only something softer. Guilt. One officer, young, eyes red, asked, General, did we really take their sky? What does that mean? Avaris could not answer. He had commanded fleets, destroyed rebellions, protected borders, but he did not know what sky meant to humans. Was it home? Was it light? Was it something more? The historian spoke again. His voice like someone reading a holy book. Sir, the old record says the ancient empire attacked Earth using star burners. They damaged the sun, stole solar energy into machines, so humans could not fly ships powered by light. Whole hall froze. Stole sun? Stole light? For what? How? Avaris turned slowly. Are you saying someone drained Earth's sun? The historian nodded. His eyes trembled. Not fully, but enough to collapse human space power. Their starships needed solar fold. When the light was stolen, humanity fell from stars to soil. Everyone whispered like wind in empty house. They fell. Fell from galaxy to planet. Fell from future to past. Fell from stars to ground. Humans did not start primitive. They became primitive after their sky was taken. A scientist punched the table, tears falling. We called them weak. We called them small. But they were strong once. Strong enough to reach stars without empire rule. Another officer cried. We erased their story and laughed at their silence. Avaris spoke softly. They stayed silent because history scared them. They did not want to wake the war again. His chest felt heavy like he swallowed a stone. He remembered how the empire treated Earth. Taxes, restrictions, laws that crushed progress. All because the empire believed humans were harmless. But humans were not harmless. They were hurt. Avaris ordered, find the woman again. Open channel. We must speak. We must understand. Communication attempt started. Signals crossed light years, passing satellites and relays. The broadcast line glowed. Static. Then again, the woman appeared. Same dark room. Same face full of heavy memory. Avaris bowed his head. First time in his life, a general of the empire bowed to someone without crown. We did not know, he said slowly. We are sorry. The woman's eyes softened, like she expected that answer and feared it at the same time. She nodded once. Children don't carry the sins of ancestors. But ignorance is dangerous. Empires rise when they forget who fought before them. Avaris swallowed emotion. Tell us about your war. She closed her eyes like she saw pictures no one else could see. We were many worlds. We were not one planet. There was no Earth alone. There was human domain. We built colonies, fleets, cities in stars. We were not strong, but we were fast. We were creative. We found a way to bend light. We traveled not with fuel, but with sun. Avaris leaned forward, whispering, sun travel, solar fold. She nodded. The ancient empire saw us as threat. Not because we were powerful, but because we were free. They feared we would unite others. So they cut the sun. They took the light into their big machines. Our ships died in space. Our colonies fell. Billions died. We fell. We broke. Only Earth survived. Officers cried silently. Empires erased that war so they could build new history. But humans remembered with their bones. Avaris spoke. Why hide? Why not rise again? She answered with a line that silenced every voice. Because power without wisdom is just new war. We learned pain. We did not want to give pain to others. She continued, voice trembling. We built hidden vaults. We saved knowledge for children not born yet. We buried ships like seeds. And we waited for stars to heal. Avaris could not breathe. Humans waited. For 1,000 years. In silence. Building hope underground while empires ruled above. A young officer whispered, you waited for peace. She nodded, yes. We did not want revenge. We wanted to make sure history never repeats. But when we saw the new empire growing like the old one, reaching our system again, spreading fear, building weapons for expansion, we activated the last guardian. Avaris understood now. The ship. She whispered, yes. The ship is not weapon. It is message. It carries voices from the dead. That made tears fall freely. The ship that erased a cruiser was not threatening war. It was showing pain. Showing what happens when stars are stolen. Avaris tried to speak, but his voice shook. We want peace. Tell us how to help. She stared directly at him through screen. Her eyes deep. Tell the truth. To every world. Tell them we were not born in caves. Tell them we were not small. Tell them we fell, and we rose again, not with weapons, but with silence. Tell them history is not written by winners, but buried by survivors. Her face disappeared. Screen black. Call ended. Avaris turned around to his officers. We will tell the truth. His voice no longer sounded like a command. It sounded like a promise. He contacted the Emperor. Your Majesty, history must be opened. The galaxy deserves the truth. The Emperor nodded slowly, his face pale and wet. Begin the release. In minutes, the Empire sent documents to every major system, every school, every broadcast channel. The truth spread like sunlight breaking fog. People everywhere watched with wide, shocked eyes. The old story that humans were weak, primitive, late to stars, shattered. Children on distant planets cried for humans they never met. Scholars fell to the ground, overwhelmed by guilt. Soldiers who fought in many wars felt shame climbing their spine like cold rope. In markets, people asked each other, how can a species fall so far and rise again? In temples, priests changed prayers, now including humans as symbol of endurance. In homes, families hugged their children, telling them, remember this. Never erase history again. The Empire changed its heart in one day. Not by force, by truth. But truth alone is not enough. Wounds need healing. Bodies heal fast, hearts heal slow. Avaris stood on the command bridge looking out through huge glass window at the stars, thinking about one question repeating in his mind like a drumbeat. Why did survivors not hate us? He spoke to himself, if I lost my sky, I would burn the universe. But humans did not. They hid their light. They waited for peace. They prepared warning, not revenge. He remembered her line, we do not punish children for their ancestors' sin. It sounded like something God would say, not a broken species. Avaris felt something new, respect. Deep, painful respect. He said to his officers, we need to go to Earth. The room gasped. Oath. Yes, with empty hands. No weapons. We must stand in their sky and ask forgiveness. No one argued. They knew humanity earned respect not by power, but by restraint. The Emperor approved mission. A small fleet, unarmed, moved through space. Avaris sat alone in his cabin, eyes heavy. He had fought many wars for Empire glory. Now he traveled for truth. When Earth appeared on screen, blue like dream, green like peace, clouds like soft breath, Avaris felt tears again. This was the world that fell from stars. This was the world that carried memory like weight of mountains. This was the world their ancestors crushed, and yet humans rose again without hate. The ship landed near an open field, surrounded by forests older than any empire building. No soldiers from Earth attacked. No guns. No metal. Only silence. And in silence, a small group walked forward, humans. The woman was there. Same eyes. Same memory. But this time she smiled. Not big smile. Small. Like someone finally finishing long journey. Avaris walked down the ramp. His uniform felt heavy. His feet felt like they carried the weight of 10,000 years. He stopped before her and spoke with voice broken by truth. We came to say sorry. The woman nodded softly. We heard your message. Avaris asked, voice thin, why forgive us? She looked at the sky above her. Because we learned the pain of war. We learned that revenge only feeds the cycle. We learned that peace is not given. Peace is built. She pointed to horizon where trees touched sunlight. Look, nature forgives storms. Trees grow again after fire. Why should we not heal? Avaris closed his eyes. He understood. Behind him, Empire officers cried quietly. One whispered, how can they be this strong? Another said, this is strength beyond weapons. The woman stepped closer. She placed her hand on Avaris' chest, over his heart. Your ancestors took our sun once. But today, you bring light back. This time by truth. Avaris felt his heart break and heal at same time. He kneeled. The Empire kneeled before a species they once called primitive. They kneeled not out of fear. But out of respect, humans lifted them up. Not to dominate, but to stand equal. And somewhere far in space, beyond nebula smoke, beyond forgotten ruins, in the quiet cold of cosmic night, the ancient ship the Last Guardian drifted in silence. Its hull carried voices of dead. Its memory carried warnings. Its purpose fulfilled for now. But deep in its core, something new glowed, a dormant signal, waiting for light that once left Earth to shine again. One day, humans would return to stars. Not with hunger, but with wisdom. And every world would remember the line that became legend: "We do not punish children for ancestors' sin." In the Empire, people repeated another line like prayer: "Who survives the fall becomes strongest." Because humans did not win war by weapons. They won by surviving war and still choosing peace. And for the first time in history, the Empire asked a question with humility: what will humanity become when their sun is whole again? Because the woman's last message on Earth was, light returns slowly, but it returns. And maybe one day, when the galaxy is ready, humans will rise again under a full sky, not as ghosts of war, but as guardians of peace. Earth did not answer with celebration when the Empire kneeled in truth. It answered with silence. The same silence that protected humanity for 1,000 years. The woman who spoke for humans did not raise flags, did not give speeches to the galaxy, did not call humans heroes. She only said one line: peace is not finished, peace is a beginning. Those words traveled through space like soft wind crossing empty halls. On thousands of planets, people listened with quiet hearts. Many did not understand the full meaning, but they felt something in her voice. A small pain, a hidden strength, like someone carrying a heavy stone but walking with gentle steps. General Avaris and his officers stayed on Earth longer than planned. They wanted to understand humans, not from history books, not from recordings, but by seeing the ground humans walked on, by touching the soil that once fed 1,000 worlds, by breathing the same air that carried the memory of ancient war. Avaris stood on a hill at sunrise, looking at the sky above Earth, blue and calm. He tried to imagine the same sky burning with stolen light. Imagine ships falling. Imagine cities turning to ash. His chest tightened. "This world holds quiet scars," he whispered. Nearby, children played, laughing, running, falling, getting up again. The war in ancient time did not kill laughter. It did not kill seeds. It did not kill future. That made Avaris cry inside his heart even more. A species that lost everything still chose to build trees, not towers of hatred. The woman walked beside him again, wearing simple clothes, not ruling armor, not a royal crown. Her presence felt like calm rain. She pointed toward a mountain covered in snow and trees. "Under that mountain, we keep memory," she said. Avaris looked at the mountain with curiosity. "Memory?" he asked. She nodded. "Yes. Truth is not stored in books. Truth is stored in roots." He did not understand, but he followed her. They walked through forest paths, clouds touching the tops of trees like soft fingers. The wind whispered through leaves, like voices speaking from far away. Avaris felt something strange, like the forest itself remembered. Suddenly, they reached a giant sealed door hidden under rock and moss. The door was made from dark metal, covered in symbols that looked older than any language. Avaris felt chills. The woman touched the door gently. It opened with slow sound, like old memory waking from sleep. Inside was a tunnel descending into darkness, smooth walls reflecting faint light. They walked down long stairs until the tunnel opened into a massive underground chamber. Avaris stopped breathing for a moment. The chamber was full of machines, huge pillars rising from floor to ceiling, glowing faint blue lines like veins of light. Floating crystals turning slowly in air, humming with energy. Walls filled with strange patterns. The room felt alive. Not fully alive like a creature, but alive like a dream that survived death. Avaris stepped forward, his voice shaking. "This is your history." The woman nodded. "Yes, this is our vault. We call it the Archive of Light. It remembers what we forgot. It keeps what we could not carry in our minds. We built it when we knew our sun was dying." Officers touched the metal pillars with respect. The machines felt warm, like they were breathing slow. Avaris saw screens showing old maps, stars humans once reached, names of colonies long gone, pictures of cities in other galaxies, faces of human leaders lost in dust. He felt a wave of sadness so deep it almost broke his chest. Avaris whispered, "Why did no one see this for so long?" She answered without turning, "Because truth hides under pain. When you are hurt, you do not speak. You protect tomorrow with silence." The chamber had areas with broken machines, like they were damaged long ago. Some crystals flickered weak. Some walls showed scars of explosion. Avaris realized humans did not escape war with perfect vault. They lost parts of memory too. Even their truth was incomplete. That made their forgiveness even heavier. The woman walked to a central pillar. She placed her hand on it, and a light spread across the chamber like stars waking. Holograms appeared in the air, showing scenes from ancient war, human ships moving like silver birds, firing beams of pure light, enemy machines like giant beasts swallowing their sun energy, planets burning, soldiers fighting with faces full of hope and terror, cities shattered, mothers carrying children through smoke. Avaris watched with wide eyes. His military mind tried to understand scale, tried to make sense of battles beyond modern science. Human technology had been something different, powered by the star itself. Not reactors. Not cores. Light. He whispered, "You used the sun like engine." She nodded. "Yes. Too simple. Too clean. That is why it was easy to kill. When they stole light, our ships died. We fell in one day." Avaris felt his heart turn cold. "Your war lasted only one day." Her voice broke. "For them, yes. For us, it lasted 1,000 years." The room fell silent. War ends fast for winners. For survivors, war lives forever. She continued softly, "We buried our ships under ice. We buried our dreams under stone. We buried our hate under soil. We kept only memory. And we waited. Not for revenge. For peace." Avaris turned to her, "Why show us this now?" She looked at him, "Because history repeats when forgotten. You began to build weapons like the old empire. You reached systems like they reached ours. We feared the cycle. So we opened the vault. We showed the truth." Avaris realized something heavy. Humans did not open vault for themselves. They opened it for the galaxy, to stop a new war before it began. In one corner of the chamber, Avaris saw something covered with white cloth. He walked toward it slowly. The woman did not stop him. He lifted the cloth and froze. Under it lay a small starship, sleek, shaped like wing, size of a house. Not metal. Crystal and alloy mixed like art. Black surface with thin lines of gold. It looked like a sculpture of light turned to steel. Avaris whispered, "Is this?" She nodded, "Yes. A child of our star. A seed ship. One of few that survived fall." He touched it. The surface felt warm. He felt like touching history itself. "Why didn't you use it to rise again?" She smiled painfully. "We remembered what we lost. Not what we could take. We did not want to return to stars in hunger. We wanted to return in wisdom." Those words stabbed his mind like slow knife. How many empires would wait 1,000 years without taking revenge? Humans were different. Broken but beautiful. But something was wrong. Avaris saw flickering lights inside the ship. Energy pulse weak. It was dying. He asked, "Why is it failing?" She walked next to him. "Because light is not full. Our sun is still weak." Avaris remembered the historian's words. The old empire stole part of the sun. "Can the sun heal?" he asked. She nodded. "Yes. Slowly. Light returns drop by drop." Her eyes looked tired. "Maybe one day, our children will fly again." Avaris felt tears forming. He imagined a child born now, growing into future where humanity flies again, not as conquerors but as bridges between species. Suddenly, the whole chamber shook. Lights flickered. Crystals pulsed fast. A low hum echoed like giant heart waking. Officers instinctively reached weapons that they didn't have. The woman stayed calm. "The last guardian is speaking," she said. A hologram appeared in the air, showing the black ship floating in deep space. Its hull wrote glowing lines again. New message. Everyone watched breathless. The message formed. Others wake. Avaris felt fear in his spine. Others? Others like what? The woman's face froze. Her eyes filled with something new. Something the galaxy had not seen in humans. Fear. She whispered, "Other ships like the last guardian. Other vaults. Other memories. Other survivors." Avaris turned pale. "From other species." She nodded slowly. "Yes. We were not the only ones attacked." History changed shape again. The ancient empire did not destroy only humans. It destroyed many. He asked, "What wakes?" Her voice was thin. "Ships from forgotten species. Lost children of stars. Carrying anger, not peace." Avaris tried to hold the terrifying idea. Ships older than Guardian. Ships carrying hate of species erased. Ships waking after thousands of years. The hologram flickered. New message appeared. "We calm. You unite." The woman's eyes filled with tears. She translated in whisper, "We, the humans, will calm those who wake. You, the empire, will unite galaxy." That is the promise of old. Avaris felt his entire life break and rebuild in one heartbeat. Humans, once broken by war, now choose to stop others from starting war. Empire, once cruel, now ask to unite like shield, not sword. He whispered, "Why trust us?" She looked at him with gentle sadness. "Because you did not know your ancestors did this. Because ignorance can learn. Hate cannot." The chamber lights glowed stronger. The vault woke fully. Machines hummed like choir. Screens showed thousands of star systems once connected by human roots. Avaris saw stars forming a web cut long ago. She whispered, "We will show you where to build peace. But you must build it together." Avaris closed his eyes and nodded. A war was coming, not against humans, but against rage frozen in time. A war that needed memory, not weapons. He turned to his officers. His voice strong, full of purpose. "We will not repeat history. We will stand with humans. We will unite worlds before darkness wakes." Officers saluted, not for empire, but for future. The woman touched the small starship under cloth. Her hand shook. She whispered to it like mother to child, "Sleep a little longer. Your sky is coming back." Avaris understood something powerful. Humans did not want to be heroes. Humans wanted children to grow under full sun. That was their goal. Not victory. Not revenge. Just sunlight. Above Earth, stars flickered like distant eyes. Somewhere out there, old ships moved slowly in dark, waking from long cold sleep. The last guardian drifted near them, like older brother protecting younger siblings, carrying message of peace. The galaxy now had two paths: repeat ancient war, or build new peace. Avaris and the woman walked out of vault. Sunlight hit their faces. He looked at her and said softly, "We will build peace." She smiled like sunrise breaking night. Somewhere beyond their sight, the stars whispered one line that would become legend: "The survivors of light return." Because the most powerful force in galaxy was not weapon that erased ships. It was a species that survived erasure and still chose love. Fear did not come like explosion. It came like cold wind drifting through quiet rooms, whispering that something old was waking in the dark between stars. After the message from the last guardian, "Others wake," the atmosphere on Earth changed, not with panic, but with a heavy silence, like the world understood destiny had returned. General Avaris stood on the balcony of the mountain bunker, looking at the open sky. The sun looked normal, soft light touching clouds, birds flying in morning wind, humans walking on roads, children laughing near rivers. How could such beauty exist above scars older than empire history? Beside him, the woman stood quietly. Her name was not spoken often. She did not want worship. She carried pain like quiet rain. Avaris asked softly, "How many others?" She did not look at him. She stared at horizon like she could see distant galaxies through morning light. We do not know, she answered. But we know one thing: when one guardian wakes, others feel the signal in their memory. Avaris was not used to not knowing. He commanded fleets, crushed rebellions, planned strategies. Now he faced something no strategy controlled: time. Pain held in metal for 1,000 years. Who built them all? He asked. She answered with sorrow: children of light. Species who rose with stars as fuel. Thousands of years before empire thinking started. They dreamed of peace, then died in fear. Avaris turned to her. So humans were not the only ones attacked. She nodded. No. We were one world among many. But we were the only ones that survived long on ground. Others tried to fight in sky, and fell faster. Avaris felt his mind stretch. He always believed Empire war history was oldest. Now he saw Empire was a child walking in ruins of giants. The unknown ships waking were not threats alone. They were memories of species erased by hunger for power. She continued, we saved our memory in vaults. Others also saved theirs, but not with forgiveness. They saved hate. That sentence hit Avaris like heavy stone dropped on chest. Humans woke the last guardian to warn galaxy. But other ships waking might wake to destroy, not teach. In the bunker meeting hall, Empire scientists and human engineers worked together for first time. Screens showed cosmic maps with thousands of stars, lines showing paths ancient fleets might have taken. Machines scanned for energy patterns like the Guardian's red beam. The hall felt like heart beating for future. A child walked in, small human girl with dark hair and bright eyes. She carried a cup of water for Avaris. The general knelt to thank her. She smiled and asked, "Are stars angry?" Avaris felt warmth and sadness. "No," he replied gently. "Stars are sad. They lost friends long ago." She thought about it, then nodded with wisdom older than age. "Then we help stars make new friends." Avaris almost cried. Children understood truth better than leaders. Later, the woman stood before the gathered people, Empire commanders, scientists, soldiers, and human citizens. She spoke without raising voice. Tomorrow is not war. Tomorrow is memory. If we remember pain, we stop pain. She pointed at the map where 3 signals glowed red. 3 guardians waking first. We must reach them before memory turns into burning. Avaris asked, "How?" She replied, "The last guardian knows paths. It carries star songs from long past. It will guide." As if hearing her words, the sky above Earth changed color. A thin streak of darkness cut across atmosphere and stopped above mountains. The last guardian appeared from fold, huge, black, silent. It floated like shadow of moon. Birds in forest fell quiet. Humans looked up not with fear, but with strange comfort. A ship from their ancient pain now protected their future. A voice echoed in bunker speakers, not mechanical, not human, something between. Deep and slow like star speaking to stone, "We go." Everyone froze. The last guardian had never spoken voice before. Only written codes. Now it spoke, and the voice felt like thousands of memories combined. Not one person. Many. Not one age. Ages. Coordinates appeared on the table screen. 3 signals pulsed. Avaris saw the locations, far edges of galaxy, places Empire maps wrote empty region, because Empire never explored deep where light curves. Humans and Empire soldiers boarded silent transport ships. For first time in thousands of years, Empire ships followed a human ship. Avaris stood on bridge of transport, watching the Guardian ahead, a black star leading children of war. He whispered, "Once Empire led everything. Now we follow ghosts." The woman stood beside him. She said softly, "We do not follow ghosts. We follow lessons." The fleet passed through fold space. The stars bent like light through water, then opened. A giant empty system stretched before them. Dead sun, broken rocks, no life. But near center, something floated, a ship. Not black like Guardian. Silver gray. Broken in many places. Its hull cracked like bone. A glowing core flickered like dying fire. On sensors, The ship looked like skeleton of war. Dead, but still burning inside. Its name glowed in unknown language. Guardian translated slowly, Skychild. Everyone felt weight of the name. Another species once called themselves Child of Sky. Another species once believed stars were home. Now only a ship remained. The Guardian sent message, a pulse of soft energy, like sadness shaped into wave. The broken ship answered with burst of red light, chaotic, like scream. Alarm shook Empire screens. Scientists shouted, "It wants to attack everything." Its memory became hate. Avaris yelled, "Guardian! Calm it!" The last Guardian pulsed again. Words on screens, "We understand pain." Then a beam, not sharp, not killing, soft white light hit broken ship. The ship stopped shaking. Its lights dimmed. Then message appeared in old language, remembered. Officers covered mouths. That one word was like tear from dead heart. Guardian did not fight. It reminded. Like mother touching child crying in dark. The broken ship's core died slowly, lights falling like stars fading. It was finally at peace. Avaris whispered, "We thought they would attack. But they only wanted someone to remember them." Some soldiers cried. Not for Empire. For species they never knew. Thousands of voices stored in one broken ship, now silent. The Guardian sent another message, one saved, two lost. Avaris asked quickly, "Lost?" Coordinates changed. Two ships moved fast toward border worlds, anger guiding them. They did not wait for reminder. They did not want peace. They woke into hate. Avaris shouted orders, "We must stop them." The woman raised her hand. "We do not stop with weapons." Avaris, "And if they kill worlds?" She looked into his eyes, deep sorrow. "We risk ourselves, not others." Empire ships accelerated. For first time, Empire ships used all power not to conquer, but to protect strangers from old pain. Worlds near edge prepared defenses. People feared unknown again. At Fold Exit, two ancient ships appeared on sensors, red-black shapes with glowing cracks like anger. Their cores pulsed rhythm of hate. They fired beams that bent space like broken mirror. Small moons shattered. Avaris screamed, "Guardian! We need you!" The last Guardian arrived slowly, no rush, like old parent walking into fight between hurt children. It floated between two rage ships. No weapons ready. Only message, "We forgive." The two ships fired at Guardian. Red beams hit its hull and dissolved. Guardian replied with soft pulse, not attack, memory. Images flew in waves, stars, songs, children laughing, maps of old roads, hand signs of friendship. The rage ships slowed. Their beams weaker. Their chaos flickering. They sent messages, "Lost, lost, lost." Then all lights stopped. The ships collapsed inward quietly, like souls leaving body. Guardian whispered through speakers, "Pain ends when remembered." Avaris fell into chair. He felt like witnessing miracle. No war. No victory. Just ending hate by recognizing it. Empire soldiers did not cheer. They cried. The galaxy did not celebrate. It mourned strangers never known. The woman touched the screen. Her eyes wet, "We saved 3. That is enough for beginning." Avaris asked, "What about rest?" Guardian responded, "More wake. More remember. Some hate. Some hope. We guide." The mission was not one day. It was many years. Avaris returned to Earth with heavy heart. He walked through city streets. Humans looked at sky without fear. They lived normal life. They did not think themselves heroes. They did not chase power. They chased peace like breath. He met the same child again. She asked, "Are stars happy now?" Avaris knelt. "Some are still sad. But we are helping." She smiled bright, "Then keep helping. Don't stop." Avaris felt purpose like fire in his blood. He stood before woman in vault. "I want alliance," he said. She turned, surprised, "Alliance?" "Yes," he said. "Not empire ruling. Not humans hiding. But everyone standing together. Not because of fear. Because of memory. She smiled small, tears shining like light on water. That is dream my ancestors died for. Avaris nodded, then we live for it. Galaxy was big. Pain was old. Hate was easy. Peace was hard. But some species survived darkness and chose not to spread darkness. Those species make stars brighter. The last guardian drifted above Earth like guardian angel made of metal and memories. Its hull glowed soft with new line, we remember together. On many worlds, children learned new history. Not history of winners. History of survivors. Songs changed. Prayers changed. Maps changed, and one question whispered again. What will humans become when their sun is full again? Because in Vault, machines hummed louder. Sunlight inside Starship Seed grew stronger. Light returning drop by drop. Someday, a human child would fly ship born from star. Not to conquer. To connect. Peace is not a straight road. It is full of stones, shadows, old ghosts, and wounds that wake without warning. After the 3 ancient ships were found, 1 freed through memory, 2 calmed through forgiveness, the galaxy did not sleep with relief. It stayed awake like someone who just heard thunder far away and knows the storm is not finished. Humanity's vaults opened slowly. The last guardian floated above Earth like a dark moon made of history, and empire fleets learned a new purpose. Not conquest, not control, but protection of peace they did not create but now wanted to defend. General Avaris carried memory like new armor. He no longer walked like commander of mighty empire. He walked like student of old war. His face changed, his eyes softer, his voice deeper with humility. Every morning he stood outside bunker and looked at sunrise, whispering the same line, "We remember together," because he feared forgetting is how war begins again. Humans taught him the pain of forgetting. They lived 1,000 years with world calling them weak because history was erased. Avaris promised he would never erase truth again. The woman from Earth, people learned her name now, Ilara, walked through the vault with long coat, hair tied, hands often touching machines like she was greeting old friends. She was not leader by title, she was leader by memory. She carried voices of ancestors in her silence. Avaris spoke to her every day, asking questions he never imagined asking. How did your people live so long without hope of stars? Ilara always answered in slow tone, we kept hope underground, where darkness could not steal it again. Machines in Vault were waking more each day. Blue lines glowed brighter. Patterns danced across walls like light weaving old story. The seed starship, small, shaped like wing, hummed loud now, powered by sun fragments returning slowly. Engineers from many worlds worked together around it. Humans with old tools, empire scientists with new scanners. Once divided by lies, now touching same machine with different hands. Avaris looked at their teamwork and thought, this is what star connection means. But peace never comes without new fear. On 7th day after last mission, something changed. The vault lights flickered once more, but not same way. This time the glow was not memory waking, it was warning. The last guardian sent pulse so strong it shook snow off mountain above. Every console lit red. Ilara and Avaris ran into central chamber. Guardian's message formed in air. Ancient enemy returns. Everyone froze like time stopped. Avaris whispered, enemy? The one who took your son. Ilara's face turned white, like blood left her skin. She nodded slowly. Not dead. Not gone. They hide in places where suns bend. They waited too. Officers panicked. They survived 1,000 years. Ilara answered with quiet pain. Hate survives easy. Pain survives longer than life. Avaris felt world turning upside. He imagined ancient empire losing war of sun, hiding in dark places, waiting for stars to heal, just like humans waited. But their waiting was not for peace. It was for revenge. Guardian's message changed. They know vaults awake. They seek seeds. Ilara closed her eyes. Ancient enemy did not want humans. They wanted light technology. The machines underground, seed ships, could start war again if used wrong. Avaris whispered, they want your sun travel. Ilara, yes. They want stars as fuel for conquest. Fear spread like wind through steel corridors of Vault. Avaris leaned close to Hologram. Where are they now? Guardian responded, hiding near broken suns. Hunting pain ships. They follow memory signals. Ilara swallowed heavy. When Guardian calmed old ships, pain signals went bright. They saw. Avaris gave order, we must protect Seed Ship. Move it deeper. But Ilara stopped him, no. Hiding repeats our mistake. Hiding gives enemy silence again. We must face truth. We must show Galaxy what is coming. Her words were sharp like blade made from wisdom. Avaris felt shame for wanting to hide again. Humans hid 1,000 years for peace, but now enemy returns, and hiding means repeating old pain. He asked, what do we do? Ilara's eyes lifted, clear, calm, full of storm. We call council. We call every world. We show them Vault. We show them Guardian. Truth is not heavy when many carry it. Empire Council, alliance of 9 species, small worlds once ignored, everyone answered call. Leaders from many planets arrived on Earth for first time, walking on ground with weight of stars in their steps. Each carried fear and duty. Children of different worlds stood on roads to watch. Green-skinned children, blue-scaled children, small glowing children, all eyes wide with imagination. Avaris arranged gathering in valley below mountain. Open sky above, mountains holding memory behind, river flowing like time. He stood beside Ilara. Guardian floated above sky like silent witness. Avaris spoke first, voice loud but soft, history was hidden. Today we show it. He used simple words. No empire pride. Only truth. Screens showed images from Vault, star maps of forgotten routes, ships shaped like dreams, humans forging light into engines, ancient enemy machines stealing sun energy. Leaders gasped, some cried, some could not stand. Ilara stepped forward. We are not weak. We fell because sun was stolen. We hid because hate never brings peace. We return because truth must wake before darkness. She looked at leaders like mother teaching children. Our enemy returns. They want seeds of light. If they take them, cycle begins again. This time we stand together. Silence carried her words into mountains. Then something happened that broke every old rule. The Emperor, proud leader, once center of Galaxy, stepped off his throne platform and walked to Ilara. He removed his crown. Everyone stared, shocked. He kneeled before human, child of erased history. He said with tears, forgive our ignorance. Lead us to truth. Ilara lifted him with gentle hands. No leader kneels. We stand equal. Those words changed Galaxy more than war. Empires built on hierarchy learned equal standing from survivors of collapse. Council signed new vow. No species may hide history. No world may steal star. Memory shared. Peace shared. Avaris felt his heart lighten, like heavy storm leaving slowly. But storm was not gone. Enemy still moved. Guardian pulsed message again, enemy seed moves. Target chosen. Screen showed location, small world near Violet Star, home to peaceful species called Salari. They had no weapons. They made gardens on mountains, wrote poems in wind, believed stars were songs. Avaris spoke fast, we must defend them. Ilara, not defend. Protect memory. She turned to council. Salari did not hurt anyone. They suffer if we wait. Guardian goes. We go with it. Peace is not words, it is action. Council agreed. Alliance ships launched. Not to conquer. To stand shield for world with flowers and water songs. Avaris commanded human empire mix fleet. He sat on bridge beside Ilara. Two species once separated by line now flying together. Guardian led ahead, black shape moving like eternity between stars. When they reached Violet Star System, enemy was already there. Ancient enemy ship, huge, cracked, glowing red like burning anger, hovered above Salari world. It charged beam aimed at mountain cities. People below prayed under sky fire. Avaris shouted, Guardian, stop them. But Elara stopped him. No. Guardian does not stop. Guardian reminds. Guardian pulsed message, stronger than before, pain old. Stars innocent. Enemy ship fired red beam. Guardian moved like shadow, slow but perfect, placing itself in front of beam. Beam hit. Guardian absorbed it. Pain patterns glowed across its hull. Voices of thousands crying again. Avaris cried, Guardian will die. Elara whispered, Guardian already died long ago. It lives now by memory. Guardian released soft white wave, not fire, memory. Images of children laughing under blue sky. Images of humans giving last breath to protect seeds. Images of stars free. Images of peace chosen after loss. Enemy ship flickered. Its red glow turned dimmer. Beam slowed. Message formed, we lost sky, we lost all. Elara replied through Guardian system, voice traveling like light, so did we. But we forgave sky. Forgive with us. The enemy ship trembled. Thousands of recorded screams quieted. It shut down weapons. Lights went off slowly, like sunset. But something unexpected happened. A small section of ship broke open, and inside, a figure floated, not alive, not dead. A preserved body of ancient species, wearing armor made from starlight metal. Its face frozen in war scream. Its hands clenched like last moment of fight. Avaris stared. Elara cried, silent tears. She whispered, this is what hate becomes when it lives too long, statue of pain. The enemy ship died, not destroyed, laid to rest. Sailari people sang for it, songs of peace for enemy they never met. Their songs reached Guardian. It glowed gently. After mission, fleet returned. Council met again. Worlds mourned not for their soldiers, but for lost species who fought ancient war alone. Alliance promised, no seed will become weapon. Light will heal, not burn. In Vault, machines hummed stronger. Sunlight fragments grew brighter. Seed starship vibrated like bird waking wings. Elara sat beside it, touching its surface. Avaris sat next to her. He asked, will humans return to stars? Her eyes stayed on shining lines, yes. But not to claim, to connect. Avaris, and enemy. She answered, enemy lost everything to revenge. We lose nothing to forgiveness. He whispered, why can't history always work like this? Elara smiled sadly, because not everyone remembers. But now we do. And we teach. Avaris placed his hand on Starship, feeling warmth like small sun. He whispered, we will protect your children's sky. She whispered, and we will guide your heart away from war. Outside Vault, dawn broke over mountains. The last Guardian floated above clouds, one survivor of thousands, carrying memory of pain and message of peace. Its hull glowed new message, gift to galaxy. Light shared. History healed. On distant worlds, children learned first lesson of new age. Survival is strength. Forgiveness is stronger. The galaxy changed not because humans returned with power, but because they returned with memory, something empires never respected. Memory became weapon against hate. Truth became bridge between worlds and far beyond, in deepest void, something old still moved, not enemy, but record. Record of war older than stars. Record waiting for light to restore full sky, because when humanity's sun becomes whole again, it will shine on galaxy that finally understands the meaning of peace built from ashes. History does not end when war stops. History ends when truth becomes future instead of pain. After the mission at the Violet Star, the galaxy was different, not because enemy was defeated, but because memory was understood. People across many worlds woke with new thoughts. They now saw humans not as weak species who rose from dirt, but as survivors of destroyed suns, protectors of forgotten species, builders of peace from broken light. The last Guardian, once dying relic from buried war, now floated like symbol of second beginning. General Avaris walked through Earth's forest paths at dawn. His steps were slow, not heavy, as if he was thinking between every breath. The air smelled of pine and wet soil. Birds sang. Human children played near river. When he saw them, his chest tightened. These children had no idea their ancestors carried star wars in their blood, and maybe this was good. Childhood must be clean. War belongs to adults who can hold pain without breaking innocence. Ilara walked beside him, her long coat brushing leaves. She had not slept much. Machines in Vault called her every night. Voices of ancestors whispered in stars. The Seed Starship, small wing-shaped vessel made from light and metal, hummed louder each day. Energy from sun slowly filling its core. When Avaris saw the glow, he realized humans would return to stars soon. Not with empire flags. Not with war marches. But like children returning home to place they once cried. He asked softly, "When will it fly?" Ilara answered without stopping her walk, "When sun remembers it fully. When light stops being broken." He watched her face, calm but tired. Endless responsibility rested on her shoulders, speaker of old memories, bridge between era before empire and galaxy after empire. Later, in Vault Chamber, engineers from many worlds sat around the Seed Starship. Human scientists taught Empire scientists how to understand light patterns. Empire scientists taught humans how to stabilize fold fields. For the first time, knowledge was not taken, not stolen, shared. Like water in bowl passed between thirsty people. But Guardian sent new message, one that broke silence around them. Origin found. Everyone stopped breathing. Avaris asked, "Origin of what?" Guardian replied, "Ancient enemy. We see beginning." Hologram appeared in air. It showed world none recognized. Yellow sun too bright, continents shaped like blooming flowers. On that world, cities made of crystal towers grew around giant engine that touched sky. Thousands of species lived together, not one empire ruling, but alliance of lights. Humans were one of them. Small part of big dream. Then second image, cracks in sun. Not natural. Not accident. Sun energy being taken by device built above star. Alliance argued. Some wanted peace talks. Some wanted to keep light safe. War did not begin with weapon. War began with fear. One group feared others would take sun power. They built machines to protect. Other group feared those machines would become weapons. They attacked first. Fear created war that burned all. When sun broke, alliance died. Species scattered. Some hid in vaults. Some built ships like Guardian and fled to protect memory. Some turned angry and hunted others. The ancient enemy was not monster from outside. It was part of alliance itself, broken by fear and pain. Avaris whispered, "So enemy is family, not stranger." Ilara cried, silent tears. She whispered, "Yes. Our old family destroyed our son." The truth was deep cut. Humans were not only victims. Humans were part of giant mistake. War happened because alliance did not trust each other. Now, thousands of years later, history returned like mirror asking one question. Will galaxy repeat mistake or heal it? Council called emergency meeting on Earth, but not in palace, in valley under open sky, so all could remember light matters more than walls. Leaders from hundreds of worlds came. Some with fear. Some with anger. Some with guilt. Avaris stood before them, not as empire hero, but as student of ancient truth. He said, "We saw origin. Enemy was not monster. Enemy was part of old alliance. Fear broke peace. Fear destroyed suns. We cannot repeat fear." He looked at Ilara, giving space for voice older than his. Ilara spoke softly, but her words moved like river cutting stone. Ancestors wanted peace, but they feared loss. Fear made them kill what they loved. If we fear now, history comes again. If we trust now, history changes. Council members argued, fear is strong animal. Some shouted, we must destroy all seeds. Too dangerous. Others, hide them again. Ilara raised her hand. Silence fell like snowfall. No, she said. Destroying seeds destroys hope. Hiding seeds creates fear. We share seeds. Shock spread. Avaris whispered, share. She nodded. Each world holds one seed. Each species protects one part of light. No one can use star alone. When light is shared, no one fears losing it. This idea was new shape of galaxy. Not empire holding power. Not humans controlling star technology. Every world receives piece of sun. Small seed, dormant, safe, symbol of trust. Council slowly understood. One shared light means no war of light. Memory protected everywhere, not buried in one mountain. Vote happened. Every species agreed. Some with tears. Some with fear. Some with slow courage. But agreement formed like first star in darkness. Avaris looked at Elara with awe. She did not win war with weapons. She ended war with idea that could not be destroyed. After vote, Guardian released thousands of tiny light points from its hull. Seeds of memory, pieces of old star knowledge. They flowed across sky like glowing rain. Ships from different worlds collected seeds like catching future in hands. Children across galaxy would grow knowing their world held part of peace. Not trophy. Responsibility. This was humanity's gift. But Guardian had one more message, final one. Its hull glowed brighter than ever before. Text formed line by line. Time to sleep. Our memory shared. Our duty ended. Elara ran to edge of mountain looking up at Guardian. No, she whispered, voice breaking. We still need you. Guardian replied, you remember now. We are shadow of pain. You are light of tomorrow. Its hull dimmed slowly. Engine cores cooled. Red glow of pain faded. Thousands of recorded voices turned quiet. Avaris felt tears. He did not expect to love a ship, but Guardian was not metal. It was memory, sacrifice, last breath of forgotten civilization. Guardian sent final message, not to council, not to army, to children watching sky. Protect each other. Light belongs to all. Then Guardian lowered itself like falling star, landing on mountain above vault. Its surfaces turned to dark stone. It became monument of memory, not weapon. Elara touched hull. Her forehead against metal. Tears fell like rain. She whispered words no one else heard. Language older than empire. A prayer for ancestors. A promise for children. Council ended. Worlds returned home with seeds of star, seeds of peace. Ships carried future like fragile flame. Avaris stayed on Earth. He did not want Empire Palace anymore. He wanted mountains where memory lived. Weeks passed. Seed starship in vault glowed full. Engine hummed with music like birds singing light. Children came to see it every morning, eyes wide. Elara stood before starship one last time. She placed her hand on its surface. It opened, door shaped like wing. Inside, chair waited. Not throne. Not weapon. Seat for one traveler to represent peace. Avaris asked, who will fly? Elara answered, child of new age. He shook head. No. You must go. You carry memory. She smiled sad. Memory must rest. Hope must fly. Then young human girl stepped forward, the same child who asked if stars were angry. She wore simple clothes. Her eyes bright like sunrise. She looked at starship as if looking at dream. Elara bent down. You understand sky? Child nodded. I understand sky needs friends. Everyone felt hearts break with beauty. Child was symbol, new generation free from old pain, carrying simple truth of peace. Avaris placed small crystal of light around her neck, seed of memory. Elara whispered, carry star with kindness. Child nodded like promise to universe. She walked into starship. Door closed. Ship lifted slow. No loud engine. No fire. Just soft hum of sun. Mountains glowed. Valley lit. People cried. Not from sadness. From hope so strong it hurt. Ship rose like bird of light. Clouds parted. Sky opened. It entered space like seed returning to soil. Screens across galaxy showed moment. Sailari sang songs. Empire soldiers saluted. Children of many worlds touched screens with tiny hands. Ship rotated once, showing name printed on its side. Old letters glowing, child of light. Then fold opened. Soft ripple like water breaking. Ship disappeared. Journey of peace began. Avaris wiped tears quietly. He asked Elara, "What do we do now?" She answered with small smile, eyes still wet, "Now, we wait for stars to answer kindness." Earth returned to quiet. Forest grew. Children played. Vault closed, not to hide, but to sleep. Guardian rested as mountain, memory carved in stone. Under open sky, Elara sat beside Avaris. He whispered, "Do you think enemy will come again?" She replied, "Enemy only comes when we forget. Now we remember together." He whispered, "And humans?" She smiled gently, "Humans will rise not as fighters, but as bridges between suns." Avaris looked at sky. Stars looked different, not far, not cold. They looked like eyes of old friends waiting for new story. He whispered final thought to himself, cycle ended. Cycle healed. We were children of fear. Now we are children of light. Somewhere beyond sight, starship Child of Light traveled among stars carrying seed of peace. Every pulse of its engine singing message Guardian left, light belongs to all. And that became first law of New Galaxy, not written by Empire, not forced by war, but born from survivors who chose forgiveness over revenge.